And
Hi,
we are.
hi, Dr. Ruth Anderson here with you all today, day 13, September 13, of the Enlightened Women Enlightened You Summit. And I'm so excited to have Keleena Malnar with us on today. I adore Keleena. She and I've been in contact for, gosh, I don't know, almost a year now, Keleena. I'm thinking we met through Stephen Altair, who is a member of our summit here today. And I'm believing that if there's a next summit, that Stephen is going to be one of the speakers. So you'll want to get to know him. You can follow his information, Stephen Altair, on Facebook. I highly recommend that you look into his work. I wanted to remind you, for any of you that are interested in writing a chapter for the anthology, we're hoping for those chapters by September 22nd. If you want to discuss the anthologies with me or with Dido Clark, just shout out to us on Facebook Messenger. So, Keleena, why don't you come in and say hello?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you, everything you're doing for women right now. This is so needed. Absolutely.
Thank you. It's absolutely my pleasure. So Terry Angel is with us, our moderator. Terry, would you set the intention for us today?
I sure will, Ruth, and thank you for having me on to do that. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So as we do every day, let's touch our heart center with one hand, bringing our focus to our heart and connecting with others that are here with us and others around the world as we set this intention. Just breathe in slowly and breathe out slowly, focusing on love. It is our intention today that Divine Mother Energy will guide us all to a deeper connection with who we are and what we are as light beings. May we discover our joy as our soul plays in delightful, childlike energy. May we open up and listen fully without judgment or limitations to that guiding voice that is showing us very clearly the lighted path before us. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go ahead. I'm going to get ready to share with you all here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson with Enlightened World Network. Welcome to this episode of Enlightened Women. Grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and make yourself comfortable. Enlightened Women is a show about women who are living lives, walking in alignment with their soul's calling. In these episodes, we not only talk about what these amazing women are bringing to the world, but what they are currently learning as a spiritual being having a physical experience. Today, I'm delighted to bring you Keleena Malnar. Keleena brings light and beauty whenever I see her. And for this interview, Divine Mother entered the room to join us. Keleena is a way shower and spiritual teacher in service to teach and guide humanity through their ascension process. She is also a multidimensional quantum energy healer who has been described as one who knows the power of the heart. Keleena offers spiritual guidance in divine love and grace, and I encourage you to check out her Facebook page or her website and watch her light language activations to get an idea of the profound connection that she has with the spiritual divinity. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Keleena. Keleena, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate sitting here from you. It's an honor.
So Keleena, I know you have been doing a great deal of traveling lately to do your work. Can you take a minute and share with us, what is it that you really are currently doing?
Yes. So when I travel, Spirit actually guides me of where I need to go, to sacred places, working at grid points. They call it pivotal access points is what they call it when they tell me, which to me that never consciously makes sense. So I have to stay in my higher self and just, allow myself to go. I go to different areas where there's different ley line structures, but it's usually like where they come together. and they're like activations. They come together as activation points on the grid. And so I've been taken to different areas all across the different countries to do those things. And a while ago it was for like cleanup, doing some kind of cleanup work. But this year in 2019, it's been for assisting and balancing the feminine and masculine energy. So I've really been working with Lemurian energy this year and amplifying the Lemurian energies in the grid. So this year I've been to Sedona, where I have done it there, and then just recently Hawaii and 3 islands. And then I will be in Mount Shasta in August, where I'll be conducting an event. I actually just posted it today, but while I do these things, it's amplifying the energies. So it actually created, for the Sedona, Hawaii, and Shasta, it actually created the divine feminine, the inverted triangle, which if you go across the map to the opposite side of the United States, where Atlantis was, that was the masculine triangle. So to amplify these energies, there's many of us that are doing it, connecting to this and amplifying these energies. It's creating the balance. And then in 2020, the harmony comes in. So we have the two making what some people note as, well, it's just a balance symbol, but they keep telling me David's Solomon, seal. There's so many different names for it. Merkaba, that's what it's creating. So it's bringing in the harmony. So that's what I've been doing. But in different years, it's been different things, because it started for me way back. First time I went to Hawaii was 2000, did cleanup there. So that's some of the stuff. Not everything. I work on the waterways as well. A lot of water activations with light codes and singing light language, and with the elementals, connecting with nature and the animals. And when I do that, and the animals that are listening, they tend to come around and receive the light codes or whatever's come through me. Then they take those light codes off. It's like I'm going to affect and transfer it to the other animals. It's amazing. Spirit showed me that just recently. I was like, wow, now I get it.
Has this been a lifelong journey for you, or did this happen for you later in life? Because the life you are living is so different than the life most people are living. So how did that happen for you?
Well, what I knew from, I've been awake somewhat since I was born. I've always heard, I've always had telepathic communication with my guides. I've always seen angels, and I've seen the elementals. So I've always been awake in some state of being. It just I've been like totally changing that as I'm going. So when I was a child, as an empath, a lot of us that are empaths, when we go to different places, we do that cleanup. We pull in that negative energy. There's a lot of us that do that, and we transmute that energy into Mother Earth. So I would say, yes, I've been doing the cleanup stuff since I was a child, because I would physically feel it. It would make me sick, to the point where when I would have to go lay on Earth, that's when I would start feeling better. So not really being aware when you're a child that that's what you're doing. I'm sure many people out there weren't aware. But as I got older, I started doing automatic writing and more stuff. I've always had psychic awareness and things like that. But the singing on the light language came in 2015. So that was a change.
Has it been tricky for you to have relationships with people that aren't into divine light? How does that work?
Well, I was married for 17 years, but I awakened more like in 99 when I was pregnant with my daughter. I was actually going through, what do they call it? Vertigo. And actually that's just part of ascension. So I was going through that part of ascension. It was 98, 99. I was going through that, awakening more, and with the birth of her in 2000, then I awakened even more, and I was doing automatic writing instead of just hearing my guides and connecting to the angels, the Divine Mother. I work with the Divine Mother, all the Mother's presence all the time. And I tried to introduce, the automatic writing and stuff to my ex-husband, who when the answers were right for him, he accepted it. But when the answers were right, he shut it down, and it caused, I would say conflict and non-belief, because he's from a very Catholic family. Even the family didn't believe. So as I grew even more, it ended the marriage because there were accusations at me that weren't true. And so it ended the marriage.
It just seems to me that for a number of women, the most growth comes when they're not in a relationship, or they're totally free to just step into their own power without having to worry about how is my spouse or my partner going to accept these changes for me.
Right. Well, my deeper awakening really empowered me to stand in my truth and be who I am. And I wasn't going to allow anyone to take that away from me anymore, because I had hide that. When you're married to someone who's an executive that's in a very 3D world, but you're totally opposite, it doesn't work. And many times you're in a location also where the people around you are the same. So you have to make a choice of what's best. And, I knew what my mission was here. And I actually, during that time, also had a walk-in happen with me. So I went, the soul changed. My higher soul came in, and that switched. So I was like, I woke up on January 1st. It was January 1st, 2015. And I was totally different. I was a totally different person. It was my lower soul had completed what it needed to. And so higher soul, higher aspect of yourself comes in. And it was a totally different change. And from that point on, I was like totally embracing my fullness and empowering myself from the goddess energy, and not allowing anybody to tell me how I should be, who I should be, what I should do, how I should look. And everything changed. So with someone else in the picture that doesn't accept you, yes, it's hard. But I feel if you have someone in your life that is like you, that is open and aware and awake, I feel like that it is okay, and you won't have those issues. For me, it was an issue, and it didn't work. So, and I grew from being alone.
Oh, sure, of course. When you woke up and this more enlightened soul, this other aspect of your soul had come in, and the lower aspect of your soul had left, what was that like for your children? Did you understand what was happening?
So here's what happened. When that happened, I actually was given the review of me birthing my children. Okay. So I knew they're mine, but I was also given visions of them with me in past lives. And I was given a vision of them choosing me as their mother again. So I received that. I don't know what other people receive, but I received that. So I knew I had that heart connection with my children, and I recognized them, and I was given the energy to recognize them. So I did that. Now, with my ex-husband, I did not recognize him at all. And the energy was not the same vibration, the same frequency. And I remember looking at him and thinking, who is this man? And when I would go to sleep at night after that, I would have to be far enough away from him in the bed because his energy was so different from mine. I couldn't handle it. So it's a big change. It is a big change, and it actually creates a huge change in your life when something like that happens.
So it was really like a death to your old self to embrace your new self.
Yeah, you can look at it like that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And did you go 100% willingly into this new life, or were there parts of your life that you weren't quite ready to let go of yet?
I would like to say that when that happened, I was very aware of everything that was happening, and I knew what I needed to do. It was like every day in the moment, I knew this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. This is my next step. And I did it. I was out in nature every day. I was doing what I needed to do. I was taking some healing courses to receive the certificates, even though I was already healing, but I needed a certificate because that's what the state wants from you. So I was doing those things. Everything was like boom, 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 in alignment, and just stay on my path in alignment. And while I was in alignment, it was causing conflict for my ex-husband, because it was no longer his alignment, because I was no longer the wife I used to be. I was still the mother I used to be, but I wasn't the wife I used to be anymore. You know, I stood in my power. I'm like, I need to do things for me. But I took back who I am. When before I gave everything away, there was never time for me. And that I turned it around. It just turned around, and it completely changed. Where my focus was my soul's journey, was my children and my soul's journey.
You spend time, my guess is it's just sort of a constant connection to spirit, rather than I wake up every day and I spend half an hour in prayer. Is it just an open door for you?
I can hear when I get out, the first thing I hear is I hear guidance, or I feel that divinely connection, because I'm a conduit. I've been called a pure source conduit. And as this conduit, I just have connection constantly. And I even know that there's a portal here where I live right now, and I have connection all the time. And when I leave here, I will close this portal and open it the next place I live. So I always have that constant connection. I can hear if I ask a question or I address someone, I can address the Divine Mother. I can address, Saint Germain, and I'll get an answer like that. If that's how open I am now, as a conduit for them. I'm a conduit for source. So the connection is always there. And so I always know this, and I'm stay in the moment. It's like, it keeps you in the moment. It absolutely does. There's no veil.
Has spirit ever suggested something to you, like a next step, or gosh, why don't you go to, I know you were open to going to Sedona, but has spirit ever suggested something to you and you thought, I don't want to do that? Have you ever said, nope, not doing that?
Oh, yes. Just recently. Well, I mean, it's been a good time, but just recently, this that just happened to me in May was the meeting of whom I'm going to call my sacred partner. And I'm doing my Lionsgate event with. I met him. He actually had been trying to friend me on Facebook for a year and a half. And I didn't know it because there's so many people that were trying to friend. You don't see them all. You just don't. So I scrolled through and I liked his energy, and he was in his yoga position. And I'm like, he's got good energy. I'm clicking him. So he had said to me that day when I friended him, he said, why now? And I never answer people I don't know. And so I was like, that's an intriguing question. So I just put a question mark. It ended up, we had conversations, and within a couple days, our energy was merging. And then every time I tried to pull back or he tried to pull back, there were signs from spirit saying, don't pull back, don't pull back. I would be behind a car. I was driving on the road, and I was behind a car pulled in front of me, and the license plate was his name, William. Then I was seeing all these things. He was going through the same stuff too. We were trying to just step back. Everything happened so fast, but spirit would constantly give you the synchronicities and the messages going, push you right back together. And so yes, I have said no, but they're like, nope, this is the path, this is the alignment, this is where you're supposed to be. And that's how it works. So when we're completely in that vortex and we try to get out of that vortex, they push us back in. That's what I feel anyway.
Right. Is there any part of your work that is Keleena doing what Keleena wants to do, or are you really to a place of pretty much everything you're doing is spirit led? I still do things where I want to have fun as a human, because I'm being taught that I need to have fun. I'm being taught that I need to be human, integrating being a human with being spirit at the same time, with being my higher
self or, aspect of myself, that was hard for me because I was always work, 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 work. And now I'm like, okay, I need to have fun. And they're actually bringing this in now. So I just enjoyed when I had to go to Hawaii to do that work, I took my kids with me. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take them and have fun with them because who knows when the next time this would ever happen. I'm 17 and 19. And I just allowed everything to happen and go, and I had fun with them. And I want to say at this higher level, we have to learn to have fun. We have to experience Earth life. At the lower level, you experience it in the 3D, but at the higher 4D, 5D, it's different. It's almost like starting to learn how to live again, if that makes sense.
So many women, light workers, are work, 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 and not very much play. So I understand that.
Right. Absolutely. Playing is a part of this process because we are part of the ascension process is actually moving into joy, joy, divine love, bliss. And we need to experience the joy here, as above, so below. We need to experience in both places, not just when we're doing the work that Spirit has us doing in that higher level all the time. Like when I do the light language, I get really high and I'm in bliss all the time. I have to also learn how to play down here and receive that bliss in other ways. Everybody does. So that's part of the embodiment with ascension. As above, we're bringing all we are above, our purest and highest divine source light into us in the physical body. So as we're doing that, we have to learn down here to be as we are up there.
I have been told many times to bring body, mind, and soul together in my work. And I know for me, the tricky part is the body part. The mind and the soul I've got working really nicely together. But for me, it's the body part that's a little tricky. And I've had days where I'll wake up and I know they've been working with me in the ethereal realm at night. And I literally have to wait a little bit to get my body to catch up to where my soul is. Have you ever had that experience where you just have to wait it out or go into meditation or take a nap just to get yourself in sync again?
Yes. Yes, I've actually gotten up at times where I tried to get up and walk, and I feel like when a baby starts to learn how to walk and they're lifting their legs really high, it's like it's almost like when you're coming back from astral travel and you're coming back in your body and you're not quite fully in the body yet. It's almost like that. That's what I feel it is. Because when we leave our body at night, when we come back in, if we get up and we get up fast, and sometimes we're just not integrated fully back into the physical body yet. Yeah.
Can you tell us about your Sisterhood of the Rose?
Yes. I was gifted, well, actually, the Divine Mother, Mother Mary, came to me. I was 22, I think, or 23 in my apartment in the early 90s. And it was the middle of the winter in Ohio. And it was probably like 15 below zero. At that time, I couldn't even afford a head of lettuce. Okay. I walked into my apartment after work and came in and I sat down, and the next thing I could smell was roses everywhere. Just this pungent smell of roses. And I lived in a duplex, and there was nobody living downstairs, so it couldn't be coming through the vents. And I was like, what is that? And a long time ago when I was a child, my father was saying, if you ever smell roses, that's the Divine Mother. So I called him the next day. And I told him, Dad, this happened. And he goes, you're very lucky, honey. He goes, that was Mother Mary. So my father believed in that, which was very nice. It made me feel good. And since then, I had been getting visitations every now and then with the smell of roses ever since then. Always the smell of roses. And in the early 2000s, I was gifted a rose in meditation by Mother Mary, and also Isis was present, who gifted me a rose. I had done all these meditations. I'd seen myself working with Isis for a long time, who to me is the Divine Mother, is Divine Mother as well. To me, they're all one, just in different forms. And doing this work with her and creating this Sisters of the Rose, it was Sisterhood of the Rose, but it wasn't called that. Isis actually created it in Egypt. It was in Atlantis, and in Atlantis. She was present in Atlantis. It was created there. And I've been connected with it ever since as a high priestess of Isis, as an activator and initiator of that program of the Magdalene Order. And in many lifetimes, even through the Christ lifetime, I was there doing that work again. I'm still doing it now. So I have the activations. I carry these codes, and I can activate women through the light language, open them up to release old contracts, to purge, and then reactivate them with the new Sisters of the Rose, which is modern day Sisters of the Rose, Sisters of Light, where there is no contract. Before we had contracts, before we came, which actually bound us things. But now with everything changing, there's no contract anymore. Once it's released, you're open and you're just activated to do the work you're here to do in your ascension process for what you came here to teach people, or if you're working on the land or whatever, it's all activated again. And we're here to teach about ascension, moving into the light, and however, whatever work we chose to do. So it's been a connection of mine for a long, long time.
And so you have retreats at times of women come. Is it all women that come to this?
It has been all women. The one I'm doing in the Netherlands next weekend, actually, we have our first masculine. And I did say I would be open because the Magdalene Order was not just women, it was men too, which is like the Rosicrucians, Knights Templar. They work together in Christ temples. So it's always been a group, and it's always been 12 and 12, from what I've always seen. Groups of 12, 12, 12, 12. We do have a masculine, and actually William will be assisting me in that, doing that with those, because now we're introducing them into it because they're the brothers of light. We are sisters and brothers of light. So we're all doing this together. I feel the next one I will be doing in Sedona, which will be in the fall, will probably open. It will just be open to Sisters and Brothers of Light, but titled Sisters of the Rose, so people recognize it. It's going to change. It's about unity now more than anything, rather than separation of the two sexes, because we're bringing it together in equality and harmony for 2020. We have to integrate both genders and all of the energy into oneness.
And so if people want to learn more about retreats, I know that they sell out quickly, but if folks wanted to learn about that, they could go to your website. Is that right?
Yes, on my upcoming events page is where I have everything there. And I keep the articles attached to it as well. They can read it on there. I just put a couple events on there in the last few days. So.
And if people wanted to watch any of your light language activations, they could see those on Facebook. I know I've seen some of those on Facebook.
Yes, they're on Facebook, but there's more on YouTube, on my YouTube. They just need to go there. And it's my name, Keleena Malnar, just like everything. It's just Keleena Malnar. It's easy to find that way. But there's a lot more on there, and there's a lot of teachings on there where I have a whiteboard where I teach things as well. So, because people are very visual, and they'll get an understanding of things that way as well.
Great. And Keleena, my last question to you. For women that are stepping into their power and their strength as a woman on a spiritual journey, do you have any advice for them?
Don't give up. I see too many women that give up. I see too many that crawl back into a hole and go back to the 3D, and they don't move forward. And you need to trust in yourself. You need to believe in yourself, because they're coming out of that patriarchal control that's activated in our DNA codes. That's why I do the free DNA activations on YouTube, because it opens up that suppression, opens the codes up so that you free yourself from that, so you can start embracing who you truly are. And work with women, empowering the goddess within. One of the things I always tell them is you need to trust yourself, you need to believe in yourself, and you need to follow your own knowing. It's absolutely pertinent. Don't let other people tell you what to do or who you are.
Great. Keleena, thank you so very much for spending time with us today. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. It was an honor to be here with you.
My goodness. So Keleena, there we go. Let me unmute you. Keleena, thank you. That was a beautiful video, and I apologize for the glitchiness. There is some disconnect between your Wi-Fi and my Wi-Fi that it always is a little glitchy, but I hope that y'all could tell what was being said. So Keleena, I have to tell you, during the video, I closed my eyes just to get a sense of what was happening around me. And Divine Mother for these videos is usually, about, I don't know, 8-10 feet over there. And she was like right here. She was just like right beside me and almost like in my lap at one point, because she was so connected in to you. And if she had been watching this video, I think she was. So I just was experiencing such a connection between you and Divine Mother there.
Yeah, that's actually, it's funny that you say that, because I have so many people that approach me that are psychic that I don't know, even in airports, that will come up and say, I need to tell you something. And they'll be like, there's like roses all around you. And they think I am the Divine Mother. But that's not a life that I am connected to the Divine Mother energy. But then they're like, well, the Divine Mother just came in, so you're not the Divine Mother. Who are you? And they do roses and stuff. And I had a hypnosis recently that just revealed Mary Magdalene life, but that's a life that's of the past, and it's another timeline. So I'm very close to Mother Mary. I've been in connection with her my whole life. And so that's, for me, that's why she's jumping on you. It's just that connection that's always been there, of the mother energy. That's how I see it. To me, we are all the mother energy, every single woman. So I don't think that I'm any better than anyone else in per se, I feel like we all have that mother energy within us, and so that we've accepted it through an aspect of one of the goddesses through all of our different lives.
Thank you. Can you tell us about your dear William and how that connection came about for you?
Yes, dear William. And he goes by Yeshaya. He was gifted that name when he was, I think, 17. We have been telepathically communicating since I was 15. Now he's 11 years younger than me. Okay, so telepathically communicating higher self back and forth. And as you talked about before, he would come into my bed and wrap the energy around me like protection and divine love. And I felt that my whole life. And he'd be in, I always heard him. We would guide each other. But it would get intense. It would get very intense at times. But then when we both had people in our lives, we would back off of each other. Like the energy would step back to allow you to actually live the earth life, whatever you had experienced in the earth life. And so we both went through these things in our life. With that magnetic connection, we would just come back to each other every time, but not knowing each other on earth. It was always telepathic and energetic. And this year, I've done paintings and drawings. 2014, I did a sketch. I don't know if you saw, I just released it like this past week, the sketch and the paintings.
I did.
Painting in 2017. Yeah, and it's uncanny how it looks like him, isn't it? And then this year in May, it wasn't by accident, it's meant to be. He had friended me. I'd released all these people on my Facebook page, and I went through putting new people on, and I had one more slot left, and I just scrolled through as fast as I could and let it land wherever, like a jackpot thing. It landed on, I thought he had great energy, so I chose him. Right there, it started conversations of connections and the energy connection and the merge of the energy within 48 hours. And it began there, and that was May of 2019. So that's 37 years later for me. That's how long I've been wanting to connect with him. And people call it twin flame, twin soul, twin rays, that kind of stuff. To me, it's a sacred partner, the person that you've been energetically reaching for or waiting to come into contact with for your soul mission in your life.
That's a great story. You know,
Yeah, it's just a tiny bit.
you know, there's some women that would think it would have just been so much easier just to stay married, stay in your old life, and not step into your soul's calling. But when we look at you now, and you are absolutely radiant, and you have not only, I've got goosebumps saying this, Keleena, but not only are you 1,000% in your soul's calling, but here they've brought in this sacred partner for you. So you have someone in the physical to go through life with. It is just amazing.
It is amazing. And the fact that we both do the same stuff is just, as I was going through life and as I was going through the shifts and changes, and in embracing who I was and empowering myself by stepping into who I am, I said, if you are coming, please be with me because I want you to understand me. Because I wanted a man that understands me, because so many men are not, there's not as many awakened men at that level as the women are. Because to me, I feel the women went first, and especially the healers went first in awakening so that we can assist those that are awakening now. But I was like, please just let him do what I do, or at least understand what I do, so I don't have to explain things and have another one like run away or step away or call me evil, or, you know. So it was fantastic. The synchronicities and the there's no challenge with that. I want to say there's no challenge with being able to speak and communicate. We both understand each other at that higher level. And it's fantastic. And there is somebody out there, I feel in my heart for everybody. I really do.
Well, and so crazy that you were drawing pictures of him before you met him.
Yeah. Drawing and painting. And that's the higher self, was just bringing them in. Yeah, I have them over here. A higher self was basically just giving me these synchronicities, you know, to show me when you do see him, you're going to know. And when I first met him, or first saw him, actually, his picture was so small because he's in a yoga position. He teaches divine yoga. I couldn't see his face so much. But it wasn't until 2 days later that after our energy merge, I'm like, okay, I need to like know more of this. I went to his Facebook page, scrolled through his pictures, and saw the one picture that looked exactly like my painting. And I almost had a heart attack. I was like, oh. And then I saw another picture looked just like this I did in 2014 that was signed Archangel Michael. And I was just like, I couldn't speak. I started showing it to some of my friends who have been on the journey with me, who've seen my paintings, who've seen the drawings years before. So they know that I'm not making this stuff up. Like, oh my God, it's him. They're like, it's him. You created him. You manifested him. I'm like, he's here. So I have to say this to people: don't give up. So many people give up, and I have to say that, just don't give up. Keep going.
Well, and I think that Spirit gives us little hints, or what Pamela Olivia Brown calls spiritual breadcrumbs, where they share with you the possibility and the pictures and the amazing opportunities out there. And sometimes we give up and think, oh no, it'll never happen. I'm just making that up in my head. But here you are showing us, yeah, that's really what happens. They showed you, or you somehow received, that this is what your sacred partner looked like. And years later, he walks in the door.
Absolutely. And yes, spiritual breadcrumbs, it's the signs, everything just came together, and that we tried to confirm each other because we're like, wait, no, this can't really be happening. But then Spirit just kept pushing us right back in, giving us more of the breadcrumbs. No, the path is this way. You know, if we choose to take the path of least resistance, you know, by following those signs, it's so much easier. It's just so much easier. That's what I know, and after experience, that's what I know. Because every time we tried to run or disconnect from each other, it was like Spirit was just, for both of us, were just being pushed right together. So it was only a couple weeks. We were like, okay, we know what's happening. We need to listen. We always need to listen to our intuition, our higher self. And I'm going to say it again, do not give up.
Well, and I just have to believe that there was cheering going on in the ethereal realm when you both finally went, okay, this is what this is.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because my guides like to laugh. I always say they're laughing at me, but they're like, no, we're laughing with you. There's like so much joy with the laughter. And yeah, I want to say cheering because, and also, you know, relief in ourselves. Or William and myself, it was just, I've been waiting for you my whole life, you know, and it's just the relief, and then all the emotions that came up with it, and everything through this journey that we may have felt was so hard. When we look back at it, it all makes sense of why you had to go through each step to get where you are now. We had a clearing to do before we actually came together, because if we didn't do it with other people or other situations, we'd be doing it with each other, and it would make it so much harder. So I have gratitude for all the people that I've had to go through this stuff in my life with. Deep gratitude and love and respect, because it's all set up divinely and perfect every time. It really is.
Yeah, what a great story. That's a make a movie out of that story. That's what that is.
We're writing a poem. We really are.
So, Keleena, can you please take a few minutes and talk to us about light language, where it comes from, how it comes to you, and why somebody would want to be able to receive that? What's the benefits of light language?
So many benefits of light language. As you and I had talked before, when I started speaking light language and I asked, what am I speaking? My guide team said it's the universal language of love. It's the language of divine love. And it is called light language because it comes in through light. It comes in as light code. So when I see it, I've given the vision of how to explain it months ago when I did some work with my friend Paul. But I see it come in as light codes. And when they come in, they're like sacred geometry, and it's all vibration. It's sacred geometry, it's vibration, it's sound, and I see colors come in through this tunnel right towards, it's, you know, it's coming in from above, and I can see this tunnel with them coming in, and then they spread out on this board, and then I just start scanning them, and it starts speaking through me. I can speak all of them, and I have this activation to speak all of them in this lifetime to awaken any soul, because each soul is different in their awakening process with the code that resonates with them. So, or the language that resonates with them. Sometimes it's tones. So it comes in that way. Now, it brings us into alignment with ourselves. So as I activate people to speak it, I also tell them, don't stop speaking it. Don't hide yourself. This brings you into your alignment. It brings you into who you truly are. It's your higher self speaking. Is what it is. Your higher self allowing this to come through, and it brings you into alignment. It also is, I've been telling people when at the events, I will activate people to speak it at events. Most of my events all have codes coming in for light language to activate your through DNA at the cellular level to open things. And I always tell people, don't hide it, because when you actually speak it, somebody else may hear you speak it, and it may click something in them, you know. So don't hide it. When we hide it, that's a pride thing. When we hide it, that's us judging ourselves. And those are things that we have to work through in the ascension process. But keep going. It keeps you centered. So if you're falling, if you're having a bad day, I always tell people, if you're having a bad day, sing your light language, do your toning, speak it, because it brings you right back into center, right back into your heart. Because when we transfer it, it's transferred high heart to high heart always. And it's always through divine love, always. It's such an important part of our process to come back into that. And there's too many people that are still hiding it.
You were sharing with me before that this universal language of love is the one language that we all understand. Could you talk about that?
It's the soul's understanding. So we all understand it and we all can speak it. So it's it's a vibration connection with the heart. And it's basically that simple. It's the soul connection, soul to soul. We're all from the one soul. So when we connect to the soul one, and that's the higher self, the God self, the goddess self, mother, father coming down through us. And it's all through the heart. And it's really simpler than I think people think it is.
So when you speak light language, you do a lot of hand motions. Are you cognizant of what you're doing? And do those symbols, is it really just sort of translating the words that you're hearing, or are those symbols a little different than the words?
Now, when I do it, I'm actually moving energy. My hands will just move. This is not something that I have any control over. My higher self takes over. My body is all taken over. I'm just the being that I am. I do it. So like right now, I just connected to the chakras, and my hands will go wherever they need to go because I'm moving energy. Also healing comes through me at the same time. Activation code, so I will throw energy at people and they'll feel it. People will feel it. They'll feel like electricity going through them, or they feel the energy coming at them. They feel warmth. So it's so massively fantastic. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I just do it because it's through here and I feel it here. And I've always got Divine Mother, I've always got Mother Mary with me, and Yeshua always around me. So when I'm doing it, I just always know that this is right, and I allow and I let it go. I surrender to the being that I am and I let it go. So it's energy movement. There's mudras. It's just so much for people that are receiving it, that are open to receiving it. But for someone who is not open to receiving it, who think that it's nothing real, they won't receive anything because they're not ready. So when people are ready, they receive what actually is coming through.
So I'm going to sound a little greedy here right now, but if there's people on Facebook in our group that are open to receiving something, could you share something with us now?
Absolutely. That's part of my soul work. Yes, let me put my crystal down. And I'm just tuning into the energies of those that are listening and that will be listening. And then I know what's coming. Okay, just bring in some into alignment. Some of them are off center, heart stuff going on. And the toning is, a lot of times it's connecting to a chakra, and many times it's frequency that needs a little adjustment so they can receive it. Yako nekadene mikregen nekrsukotu bashitene city hinto una mayai he kana krusukotu nishkata mikret nekrisikren dikirikotatu sakarente ma ocean mai ka anta anda a. Some people have some throat chakra stuff going on. I'm feeling it on myself. Okay, there's healing coming in as well. So if they want it, they just need to say they accept it because I'm getting really hot. We are the sisters of light, sisters of love. We come to you in our divine essence. We are the sisters of the Pleiades. We see you for all that you are and ever have been. Mai Hayokuyanya Hai. Accept all that you are. And the symbol of creation. We send you blessings of love from the highest light and the purest benevolence, source of all that is. Ayana Konatum Ayaham Anshura Mayan Jana Hanayakan Nayan Anshura I'm really high now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, it was interesting because I had my eyes closed and I want to go back and I want to watch that again. But what I was sensing healings for different people that I know are online. I mean, at one point I got a healing from Maria, and then at one point I felt a healing, you know, or a blessing for me. And I could just stay in that energy all day long. It's, yeah, it's just divine. So how do you feel after you've done that? Because I can tell you're still really.
swimming right now. I get really high because it's just direct connection to source. To and I see as mother and father, even though they're one, I will see it as the energy of divine feminine masculine. But I'm still spinning right now. I need to ground. I feel so good when I'm doing it afterwards that like William will tell me, he'll be like, you need to ground, but it feels so good I don't want to. But he's always like, yeah, you need to ground because otherwise I'm flying away floating.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll give you a minute to ground there, but Terry, could you share with us some thoughts from the Facebook group?
Yes, I think I need to come back down too. I know for me, I got very tearful, and it was just like so much healing and so much release that was happening. So I just want to show my gratitude and thank you for that. That was beautiful. And that's the consensus that people are saying, that it was so beautiful. Mary Goff says, beautiful healing energy flowing to me. I accept, feel, and appreciate deeply. Mary says, my neck is much softer, have had several minor whiplashes. So that's an amazing testimony. And Deb Goldberg says, that was outstanding. My neck feels better. So I think when you were doing all of that wonderful throat chakra work, it was really healing on all levels, not just the energy, but also physical level. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, Maria wanted to thank you for asking her to do this, Ruth. She said, I was just going to ask that. And we had another comment. Gay Lu is on, and she says, I see body language as universal when spirits manifest healing energy. Yeah, and so many people were thanking Keleena for sharing your beautiful love story. And I can't find who it was now, but someone said it gives hope to those of us that are single, that there is, the comment that you made, that you truly believe there's someone for everyone. And that does give hope. And everyone loved the never give up, don't ever give up. So I think, it's been kind of quiet today in the gallery, but as we got that healing energy come through, more people are now coming out and responding. Ivana says, my heart feels clean and open. Maria says, I felt energy moving all over my body, a combination of tickling and throbbing, and I had tears of joy too. This was amazing. Thank you so much. And Deb Goldberg said it was so beautiful to be part of and to watch you work. Yes, it absolutely was. Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Terry, thank you. Thank you for sharing those. So Keleena, I think you've got a bunch of new fans here in the Facebook group. So if they want to find out more about you, they can look on Facebook at Keleena Malnar, and also on YouTube, because you've got activations on YouTube as well, correct?
Yes, I put activations out on YouTube monthly. I used to do them a few times a week, but I've been so busy and overwhelmed with events and doing stuff, traveling, that I try to get them on there definitely once a month, if not two. They're live on Facebook too. I'll go live on Facebook. Listen, not down now here, go live. And I'm like, okay. Or they can go on the website. And everything's Keleena Malnar. I made it easy. Well, actually, guides told me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good at that technology stuff. They actually know what to do there. And also, you have retreats, and I know that they do sell out pretty quickly, but I could see maybe somebody from this group wanting to really dive deep into the work that you're doing. So they could be looking for retreats as well.
Yes, I have a few upcoming events. One here in September and October. I have a Sisters of the Rose in October in Sedona that's coming up.
There's only 6 spaces left in that. That one sells out so fast. It's just like women come from everywhere. They don't just come from the United States. They come from all over the globe. So that one's good. And but yeah, they're all on my website under upcoming events. You go on there and scroll through and see what's available.
Great. Well, we've spent our hour, so we're going to let folks go. But Keleena, thank you so very much for being here with us today. I am so looking forward to working with you in the future. Not sure what all that's going to look like, but I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly, truly appreciate you. Deep gratitude for all you're doing.
Oh, thank you. And Terry, thank you for working with the friends over in the Facebook group.
Absolutely. I love it. And I love all of you. And Keleena, it was a pleasure hearing you today.
And tomorrow, so tomorrow is day 14 of our 31 days. And tomorrow we are with, well, Debbie Garcia is the speaker, but she will not be with us on Facebook Live. But Terry Angel and Deb Goldberg are going to do a Facebook Live event with whoever wants to get up bright and early. Is it still 9 o'clock Mountain Time, Terry?
No, oh yeah, the time is. It'll be 11 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay.
I know we have a lot of people watching on the East Coast.
Okay, great. And I just want to say, listening to Kaleena's video, listening to several of the videos, and Debbie Garcia's tomorrow, there's a reason we are sharing the All Access Pass, because there is so much information in each video. It's just impossible to hear it all and synthesize it all within 72 hours. So please check that out. So thank you, everybody, for being here with us today. Happy Friday night tonight, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.